This is third day of Zone 2 while we are fighting against DYH, which is basically Dedicate Your Heart. It's a Chinese alliance, which is the #1 power alliance in our KvK. And the City of Moria, which is us, which is my alliance, my new family, second highest power alliance. Basically, we have been fighting for 3 days. I can't really say that we have been fighting for hours and hours, but at least the action have been here all around. This is Zone 2, and the City of Moria, which is my alliance, and PRE, which is our allies. The Dedicate Your Heart's ally is Mojo, right? That's the reason why I want all the participants to be sad in this video, because I don't want any of the alliance members to feel sad because I missed their alliance name or something, right? Of course, City of Moria's allies are winning this KvK so far, especially this our zone 2, because this is already at the stage of the pass of Dedicate Your Heart, which means we have been winning every single day throughout these 3 days, right? And the zone 2 just opened for 3 days. Basically, every day since the zone 2 is opened, we have been winning. And yeah, I guess we have to be glad and happy that DYH is a nice alliance in terms of fighting, because I know a lot of alliances who would stop fighting at all when they understand that they are losing. They would say, okay, GG's, let's go to zone 5, right? But yeah, these guys are fighting, and that's the most important, because I believe there are a lot of players who still want to get a lot of merits, and one of them is me. I just migrated in this in this server with City of Moria. I have been AFK for almost 2 months, and of course I want to as much fights as humanly possible in this KvK, right? And of course, resource healing. Finally, this will be my first KvK when I'm going to resource heal my tier 5 archers, which will be a big deal, because before maximum I was resource healing only my tier 4 wyverns, right? But this KvK, if the possibility will be there, and if it will be a good decision to resource heal my tier 5 archers, I will be more than glad to do that, right? And of course, if it will help my alliance to win KvK, of course, it will be even better. So yeah, regarding my archer lineup, as always, we have to mention it, right? Ruby and Kylan. Finally, we have been trying out G5 Archer hero pairs. This will be my first KvK when I will try out Ruby with Kylan. Kylan is not in a best spot, 5-2, 5-3. Fourth skill, which is really important to max out, is only 3 levels, so there is still a lot of things to do. Falgrim and Nico. Nico is awakened there. Falgrim is 5-2-3-5, which means not awakened. Magrat and Zaida. Zaida is awakened, and Magrat is 5-5-5-1. Indis and Tara is awakened. I have said many times why I'm using Indis and Tara, because of the buffs which these two heroes are giving us. And the last one, Kinara and Musyang, my debuffer March, which have been with me from the beginning. At least Kinara have been here for a long time already. So I'm really happy that I'm still able to use Kinara in my 5 March. Of course, I'm trying my best to progress with these 5 March as long as possible, to upgrade them with the new heroes. And let's see, in this KvK with against like one of the strongest opponents which I have ever had in my career, at least one of the in terms of player base, activity, and strengths of the accounts. Let's see at the end of the KvK how much merits we will have. It's pretty interesting, right? That's the most important. Of course, I will try my best to be as active as possible. I will also resource heal, as I have mentioned, and let's see if it will be enough, right? Let's see if my setup and uh, my resource healing will be enough for me to get at least like 40 million merits, because Last KvK I had 36, basically by only archers, and hopefully this KvK we're gonna do even more, right? So as we saw the first run, I was already fighting and I just started recording the video. Now we're gonna have second run as fast as possible. As soon as we're gonna make these four other low HP marches go home, and I will try my best to send another five back, because my city is pretty close and I will be able to refill my marches really soon. So here I will be able to send my troops faster than I would be sending them by back, because they are like 10k troops. That's nothing. That's even better. Like faster we're gonna come back. That's more value than saving the 100k tier 4 troops. So yeah, let's send them back and let's bring more basically full marches, and let's see what we're gonna do. So this first part was with already used 5 archers. Let's see what we're gonna do with the full HP, and also until we gonna wait with my 5 marches until they're gonna come back to the battlefield, we have to speak about Ruby and Island, right? I don't know, maybe it's update, maybe there were before like this, but my Wind Whistle is not even 3-star main talent, and Island is not even awakened, right? And out of nowhere, basically in almost every single reports, Ruby and Island has the highest amount of merits out of all of my other archers, right? And I can't even imagine what will happen when Wind Whistle will be 3-star. Island will be awakened. Yeah, that's honestly really surprising, right? And hopefully we're gonna get another G6 Archer hero pair, which will be even better. So we already know that the two best hero pairs for archers currently in the game is Magrat and Zaida and Ruby and Kylan, right? Of course, we want to have third one for basically offensive gameplay like merit getters, because other archer hero pairs are not really the merit getter hero pairs. Falgrim and Falgrim sometimes because of the AoE damage in, of course, in open field war, but other than that, we want something like one more, something which will be close to Ruby and Kylan and Magrat and Zaida in terms of merits, right? So let's see if we're gonna get it. Now, all right. So second run, finally we arrived on the battlefield. Let's see how well we are going to perform. I have to say that I'm fighting against multiple max decoration players. Also, they them having 3-star warpads is not a problem. Almost every single one of them has exemplar wish artifacts, which I don't have. So if I'm comparing my own account towards them, I'm really weak. So that's why I should play even more defensive than before, right? But the unfortunate thing happens if I will be super defensive and basically target only tanks, the merits will be super low. So that's always the dilemma, which playstyle to choose. I guess now we're gonna decide during the gameplay, right? That's how I play. So let's continue with the comfortable playstyle for me, right? Mainly, I like to remove opponents' infantry players as much as possible. Not only because like I'm choosing the safe option, simply because they are the ones which can make my archer hero pairs get trapped. So it's for my own safety also, right? And plus them being my safe choice targets also adds the value of targeting them, right? And of course here that's another example. If we won't gonna target these ones, they will trap us at some point, right? And you never know. In 1 second, you might get 25 targets, and it will be impossible for you to actually do anything in the game. That's why targeting infantry troops are wise choice. Now, the Hans player, I think Hans is the leader of DYH. So I guess this player has unlimited amount of infantry troops because he have been sending like this for like half an hour or even more. Let's see if we can be a little bit more aggressive. I can target some archers here without problem. And yeah, finally he understood that it was an easy target. Let's see if we're gonna able to move up. Dealing damage to mages in this kind of wars, it's super amazing because almost everybody understands how to fight, so they won't gonna allow you to just stand still and just deal damage to mages, right? Everybody gonna move back, and until you are dealing damage to mages, you will see that one blink infantry is flying on top of your head, and you are just done. So that's the hard part of being archer player. And trust me, when I'm not recording videos and when I'm not streaming, I'm playing even better because I have more attentions towards the gameplay. That's the reality, right? So yeah, let's see. These kind of fights have been pretty fun. Let's see what will be the merits amount. Of course, having like 100 and 200 k merits per legions, it's not the reality without fog of war, but here I think we have a perfect chance to get a lot of merits. Even if we're gonna get targeted, of course, this is the perfect chance. Yeah, the amount of damage we just did to those mage players, and you can see how many dead troops are going home. That was nice, right? That was amazing, and that's the power of infantry. Without infantry player blinking there, it would be impossible, right? And of course, the HP of our troops are looking nice after such a long skirmish. I wish I had all the artifacts during that fight because I think I only had available Gilded Crossbow, which is my only level 5 archer artifact, which is really funny also, right? Okay, can we deal damage here? Let's see. So far, nobody is targeting, and we are dealing damage to backline. I guess some of those archers are standing in the wrong place. Yeah, we are getting stuck, I think. 3 targets. Yeah, I think we will be able to survive. Let's see. Yep. We managed to survive. We managed to survive. It was a little bit too offensive for my taste. We went too far. I totally missed that. We had some rally. Well, not we, but the DYH sent some rally and it just popped. So that's my bad. I wasn't really looking. That's why more of my ally members didn't follow because they were cautious of rally, right? So that's pretty normal. Of course, if we're gonna check out the HPs of my archers, we can always see that Magrat and Zaida is always the highest amount of HP, right? Because yeah, I have highest amount of healing on that hero pair, and of course that's the reason. That's the idea. And of course, my strongest warped is Snow Peak Rock. I think I have put like most amount of warped currency uh, on the Shadow Manticore, not Snow Peak Rock, on Shadow Manticore for Magrot and Zaida, and that's the reason why they have been my #1 March, and that's why I'm surprised how easily Ruby and Kylan is just simply getting more merits with just 2-star Northwind on the Wind Weasel. That's always surprising. All right, let's see. Uh, we still got some HP on the most important hero pairs. Of course, having Falgrim not awakened will have a huge effect on this fight. In general, it has a huge effect, right? Because I think not awakened heroes against this type of opponents, yeah, it will be tough to get merits on those ones. Let's see if we're gonna see one more blink artifact from our allies from City of Moria. Let's see. That's our only hope in this type of fights as an archer players, right? Because without that, it's basically impossible to touch opponent's ranged troops. So only only help of the infantry and blinks. And of course, cavalry players are basically useless in this type of small areas where you are fighting. Yeah, they are basically useless. All right. Let's see if one of our allies will do a blink. I can see a couple of infantries moving up. Let's see. Well, at the start of the video, we were basically losing a little bit, but at the end of the video, we are basically moving forward, which is nice. Which means we defended ourselves, and now we are on the right track. If they are going to lose this territory, it means they just basically lost whole zone 2, which will have a big effect. Let me see. We can see one of the blinks which our infantry players did, and yeah, pretty nice. We did some damage to these mages. Not too much damage, I believe, but at least something, right? At least something. At least something other than infantry. That's what I wanted to say actually. Right? This guy is sending more infantry. If we have to focus, right? Come on, yeah, I was visible. I was visible. Yeah, it would be nice if I managed to wait for some time, I believe, because we were having a rally really, really close. Now let's see if our rally will pop near these troops. But in general, I believe fight have been really nice in total. All the fights and the activity from City of Moria have been absolutely amazing. Like, I believe every time zone, City of Moria players have been online for fights, which is really, really unique. Maybe it's normal for other kingdoms, but it's unique for me, and that's why I'm keep saying that, right? One of the highest value things which you can actually do as an alliance is being online and active whenever is needed and whenever fights are happening, right? And of course, throughout this gameplay, throughout these 3 days when wars are actually the main gameplay for us, all the time we have been online. Like at least 50 to 100 people in all time zones have been online, which is super nice, which is great, which makes every player more secure and more confident that we are going to win a lot of KvKs, not only this one. So let's see, at first let's win this one and then speak about other ones. Of course, it's super hard to get some merits in KvKs like this, but somehow we are managing to make it happen, right? And I'm really proud of saying that. Until we're gonna say, look at the reports, let's check the merits in these 3 days. We got 6.4 million merits from only archer hero pairs, and let's check out the merits, right? At first, we're gonna check the first one. At the start of the video, we were doing another one. We got there 30 and 32 Ks on Ruby and Gailan and Margaret and Zaida, which is, yeah, two highest merit getter hero pairs are these for archers, and not a surprise, right? And of course, I have to awaken Falgrim, and this will be better. But yeah, 38, 38. But in general, I believe slowly we're gonna get there. Slowly we're gonna approach the numbers which we want to have in total merits, right? And so far it's 6.4 in just 3 days. Let's see how much we're gonna have at the end of the KvK. As always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, and share. It gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning, and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.